All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you today. And the first thing that I want to talk about is a crypto whale moving 20 million XRP to Coinbase. Is it Ripple's former CEO? Well, I don't know, but let's check out the article because moving them to Coinbase, well, that can only really mean one thing. Otherwise, you could just have it in any old wallet. They're probably going to sell it sometime soon. So whale watchers are speculating on the identity of the crypto trader who just transferred over 20 million XRP to Coinbase, which would be something like 25 cents. So let's just go with $5 million. The funds came from an XRP wallet called Funding Wallet One that was activated by Ripple co-founder and former CEO Chris Larsen, according to XRP Explorer. So users on the XRP-based platform XRP Chat have past speculated that Larsen is the sole owner of the wallet. Some traders on crypto Twitter say the transfer may be Ripple itself selling some of its XRP holdings to the exchange. However, Ripple's XRP sales are typically executed over the counter. So Larsen, a serial fintech entrepreneur, stepped down from his role as Ripple's CEO in January 2017 after founding the company in 2012. He remains an active board member, though. However, back in April, Larsen, his wife Lena Lam, and the nonprofit foundation RippleWorks donated 25 million XRP to San Francisco State University, and the school says it was the first digital asset donation in its history, and the funds will be used to bolster its College of Business. So XRP, third market cap. Oh man, leading the altcoin rally. I don't know about that so much, but so what's going to happen with 20 million? Although it's kind of weird because the article is like, is it Ripple's former CEO? But then at the end, they're like, well, they did donate 25 million to San Francisco State University. So, which is pretty close to 20 million XRP. So why you'd put it on Coinbase, I don't know. But who knows? Maybe that's preparing for another dump, or maybe there's going to be a rally of XRP and then a dump. But that's nothing particularly new. Moving on here, more Ripple news. Ripple CEO says no Libra before 2023 while continuing XRP controversy. So Libra is definitely a competitor to XRP. It's probably not good for them, for sure, to have around. So you can see why there'd be some animosity towards Libra, at least from their end. There's a lot of animosity from governments around the world, central banks, politicians, pretty much everybody against Libra. So I guess in this case, I don't really blame Ripple. So in an interview with Fortune's Balancing the Ledger on October 7th, Ripple chief Brad Garlinghouse became the latest to go public with doubts about Libra. According to him, regulatory issues will keep Facebook from launching its currency for the time being. No, he answered when asked if he was bullish about Facebook's ability to issue Libra as it planned in the white paper earlier this year. So I think they have the technical competency to do that. Sure, I think the regulatory headwinds they're facing are substantial. Facebook has pledged to address wide-ranging concerns from governments and still release Libra as planned. So, yeah, they've done that in the past. Hey, no, we're not going to sell your data. Oh, we sold your data. No, we're not going to sell your data again. Oh, Cambridge Analytica. That wasn't us. That was definitely us. We won't do it again. And of course, when sitting in front of Congress, the Senate, etc., of course, they're all very, very skeptical because Facebook is just a terrible company. And again, so I keep talking about the corporate coin, and I know I keep going over it, but for the most part, we can't trust any of the corporate coins. They're just, sure, it's an open ledger, but it's like 20 corporations that are going to be running Libra, and this is going to be happening a lot in the future. So just be prepared. Like, don't be surprised when there's all kinds of corporate coins floating around and they sort of overshadow Bitcoin because they already have billions of dollars and billions of dollars worth of tech teams and lots of overall power these corporate coins are going to go pretty far, in my opinion, especially considering Facebook, I think, has like something like 2 billion worldwide users. So as soon as they launch Libra, that's effectively probably more people that actually mine or trade or hodl or have ever bought or probably even ever heard of Bitcoin. Considering there's only like 8 billion people in the world. Facebook has 2 billion of those as users, or at least at one point they did. So it's going to make it instantly more popular than Bitcoin, which could be a good thing because it could force people over to Bitcoin as well. So moving on here, Tether keeps on printing, unfazed by a $1.4 trillion lawsuit that's been going around. There's this class action lawsuit attempting to unfold against Tether, and I think Bitfinex as well. For effectively manipulating the price. So the recently launched class action lawsuit finally calls out Tether directly on what was only unofficially discussed on social media. Tether coins have been created and used with the intention to manipulate the crypto market, causing a larger bubble and a more damaging crash, the plaintiffs explained. So today, Roche Friedman LP filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of those who own cryptocurrency against Tether and Bitfinex and others for manipulating the cryptocurrency market to create the largest bubble in history. I don't know if I would consider that the largest bubble in history. I mean, like, what about the stock market bubble? Was that bigger? Probably. Probably been other bubbles too. But either way, $1.4 trillion. So I would suppose the way this goes is probably, even if it was successful and people got some money for this, it's kind of weird because like those who own cryptocurrency against Tether and Bitfinex, is that like literally every single person? I think that's us as well. Like if you just happen to own any. I'm not sure exactly what the requirements of that are. But I highly doubt 1.4 trillion because the entire market cap of Tether is not 1.4 trillion. The entire market cap of the entire cryptocurrency community is not 1.4 trillion dollars. So this is sort of one of those things where like, yeah, let's just $1.4 trillion. And if Tether loses, they'll be like, we'll give you guys like $1 billion. And everyone will go, okay, and we'll all get a $22 check or something like that. So just at the moment, the Tether Treasury minted 2 transactions, 12 million and 20 million Tether, while they're facing a $1.4 trillion lawsuit. They're like, yeah, let's just print more. The US dollar Tether injections coincide with a revival in market activity because more people are putting money on exchanges. I think that's one thing that kind of people look over is that when people are putting more money onto exchanges, when the price is going up, etc., more Tether are being printed because more people are putting money into the system. But at the same time, there is a lot of shady activity with Tether and Bitfinex and everything in that regard. This market behavior calls back to the market rally in July, where the NYAG found Tether and Bitfinex were doing unlicensed business in New York. Just at that time, Bitcoin went on rally, distracting the markets from the negative events surrounding Bitfinex and Tether. Well, so that's also pretty convenient as well because we moved up to nearly $14,000 and then down really quickly and haven't been back since. And it was pretty random, to be totally honest, and it flew really quickly, and it basically pumped the whole market. Ethereum got to something like $350, $360, something like that. Litecoin was up to like 140, 150, and then everything's back down now that all that heat went away. And whatever happened to that with the New York Attorney General finding Tether and Bitfinex doing unlicensed business in New York? Not a thing. That's the way these cases seem to be going with crypto, is that nothing ever happens from them. Nobody ever gets paid back. NiceHash users, I think, finally got paid back some of it, and that's if you only had like a certain amount in your wallet that they'd pay you back, and then if you were just mining it and you didn't have it in your wallet, you were ready to be paid out, you didn't get paid back. I remember losing I think it was like $30 with the NiceHash hack. That was just like how much I had mined. And then like that Friday it was going to be paid out or something like that. So not a big deal, right? But like nothing ever happens, right? So they were like, oh no, we'll pay everybody 10% back every like couple months. So I think that's finally done. But the Craig Wright Kleiman case, the judge just basically ordered, hey, was saying like, hey, you should pay this back, and then like nothing really ever happened of that. I'm wondering what's still going to occur, like what kind of settlement they're going to reach. The NYG with Tether and Bitfinex, that was a huge thing. That was huge. Them investigating their fraud and everything. It was causing huge FUD with Bitfinex. People were just rapidly taking their crypto off of Bitfinex. They could barely pay people out. And then nothing. People just forgot it. It's like, no, it's fine. Like, I just forgot. Wasn't that like 2 weeks ago that Tether was completely destroying the crypto market? Nah, don't worry about it. Let's just go right back to Bitfinex. So with that, we'll have to see. I'm not going to continue reading the rest of the article. I will keep up with this if I happen to see more news about this lawsuit. So you could probably get into this class action lawsuit if it's anybody that just happens to own cryptocurrency. I'm not going to screw it. I don't need $14.88, which is probably what you're going to receive at best. And 1.4 trillion, that's just a random, that's just like what you go into court. That's like when you go into like small claims court and you've had some damages, and you're suing somebody and you're like, yeah, I want 5,000, and the judge knows that it's worth nowhere near 5,000. So eventually at the end of it, they're like, okay, well, you owe him money, so give him 2,000, right? That's like the value of the car or whatever. So you always just go in really high with a lawsuit, and then like you get what you get in the end. So moving on here, Jennifer Robertson returns $9 million to the Quadriga CX traders. So Gerald Cotton's widow, Jennifer Robertson, is going to be paying $9 million from the estate, the widow of the exchange's late founder, which all that money basically came from you in the first place, because he was running Quadriga CX on a laptop, had Crohn's disease, then decided to just, go completely bankrupt and liquidate. And, illiquid, if you will, on Quadriga, and was basically storing your crypto that you'd put on Quadriga on other exchanges, in the same way that if you went into a bank and said, here's $50, I'd like to put that into a savings account, and they say, yes, sir, I'll get that right in your savings account. And then they literally walk out the back door into a competing bank and they say, I'd like to put this $50 in the bank, right? Because they don't actually have a bank. Amazing, right? One-man show, run on a laptop, an entire exchange with $200 million on it, literally, and then goes to India, dies from Crohn's, because he went to India, which, hey, no offense to India, because I literally have an Indian friend who I played games with for a very long time, who was a really cool guy, okay? So no offense to India in any way, shape, or form, but the water quality and the food quality is typically pretty bad in a lot of places, especially where you'd be going to build an orphanage, right? Not like some big city where you're like in the fine points of the city, right? In the expensive area. No, you're going to build an orphanage, right? Where do you build orphanages? Probably not in the best areas, right? And you got Crohn's disease. Makes total sense. The investigations revealed that Cotton did not possess large-scale crypto wallets as previously suggested. Additionally, the audits and bankruptcy procedures saw links between the finances of Quadriga and personal spending of Robertson and Cotton. Wow. Saw the links between there, right, with her $9 million estate and $100,000 to the dogs. You saw those links? Wow, I'm glad you guys did. Glad the authorities found those links. Robertson cooperated with the legal proceedings while paying for some of the investigations. Now she has reached a voluntary settlement, providing her own funds to settle claims of Quadriga CX creditors, although there was like $200 million on the exchange that people essentially lost, and she's going to be paying $9 million, which is like a drop in the bucket, but fair enough. Robertson also claimed that she was not aware of the mixings of personal exchange funds. As I have indicated throughout this proceeding, I had no direct knowledge of how Jerry operated the business prior to his death, and was not aware of his improper actions in managing the Quadriga CX business, as outlined by the Monitor in its 5th report. Specifically, I was not aware of nor participated in Jerry's trading activities, except for all that money, right? Love that money. Nor his appropriation of the affected user's funds, except for that money, right? Explained Robertson in her settlement notice. I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? I don't mean to rip on a widow who may have actually lost her husband. But no, you participated, right? You got that money, right? That $100,000 to your chihuahuas and stuff in your $9 million estate. $9 million out of your estate, right? So, like, if you're willing to pay that much money, trust me, nudge, nudge, right? There's a little bit more, okay? So you participated, right? That's exactly what I would say too. My wife ran a terrible exchange, and then she passed away from Crohn's disease, and because she was going to build an orphanage in India, right? In India, you know, and not that like in 10 years, like, you know, Robertson, the widow is just going to be like, I'm going to go to India now, or to the Maldives or something, right? And then like flies away and like just happens to meet a guy who looks exactly like Gerald Cotton. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what is that? Shawshank Redemption, right? She's going to go meet him in Mexico and build a boat. You know what I mean? After like 10 years, when this all, like when everyone forgets, like, what was Quadriga again? I don't know. That woman in a boat with that guy who looks just like Cotton. I'm having too much fun here. CoinMarketCap. 8,200 Bitcoin. We had a little dumping and it sort of popped right back. So we're still just trading sideways at the moment. Nothing too crazy to say with the market. Still 8,200. Ethereum 179. XRP 27 cents. Bitcoin Cash 230. So Litecoin suffering pretty bad at 57. But aside from that, maybe it's a good buy. But aside from that, nothing too crazy going on. Binance Coin actually all the way down to 1598. I haven't looked at the price of Binance Coin in quite a while. It used to be like upwards of $30 there. Bitcoin SV at $84. Oh no, SV hodlers. I guess Craig Wright is the real Satoshi, right? So that should go up in price anytime soon. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. That's the best way to help out a YouTuber. My social media in the description below. Give me a follow on those if you get the opportunity to do so. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as usual, I will see you guys next time.